I have for Vimbas TV so movie. Sarkodie akasa ssed Yvonne saga ne ho in an interview for the first time. Na a moment could see short video we be break it down the whole interview for you.
With this situation, yes, exactly. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm super proud of everything. It's just in the moment how I felt. Whether it be my truth, there should have been a way that you could have said it. That's why I don't like to speak about it, because this is a conversation between two people, but then we could have a conversation if you want to talk about it, because it involves me as well.
Right.
But because people know the SAC doesn't speak, people think they can say something and no SAC is not going to speak, and then it's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
So once in a while, you just
let them poke the bear.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't for Vimbas TV so we only subscribe here my YouTube channel. I can subscribe now turn notification on. Sarkodie could PM our interview on way up or kasa on the reason why he dissed Yvonne over book or Troya chapter 8 was specially dedicated to him. According to Sarkodie, most of the time on Thai reply to attacks on him, maybe in one or two songs nobody dedicated a few lines for that situation, also to record a whole song for situations there. That moment was the second time. According to him, no say on your proud say DC Yvonne and there could have been a better way. And so at the moment, he felt say he had to record the song. Or say no and the team members binum and a lake the song out there. Or to also explain this situation of course between himself and Yvonne Nelson, tracing back to the 2012 and the 2010 muhono. Just say idea a year something they could have talked about it privately. Now Yvonne Nelson editorial book just a nunti and also was pushed to sneak his way out because no what all. Just to go and record this song, which of course was leaked, and then he had to put it out. Sarkodie so ekasai edifa other situations on way up showing. So mumi enko tie de okan in full na efo adwenche efa comment section.
Now let's get into the meat of this, because the most recent song you put out is called Try Me.
Try Me.
I cannot believe you did that, because I feel like you try your hardest to not engage in like even doing press, and keeping, and you've even said that you like to keep your personal life separate from you as an artist. But in this particular situation, you've had to address things that have been said about you, right? And so what was your decision in making this song? People are calling it a diss song, but I feel, and it is harsh, I'll say that, because it hurt my heart when I was like, I would hate for somebody to, I would not want to go back and forth with Sark on a situation like this. But what made you decide this was the move that you were going to make as far as addressing, this book where it was referenced you had made a woman have an abortion?
To be very honest, it's a sensitive conversation that the reason why I didn't do no media around or press around it is because I know I might lose how I would like to present what I feel about it. So normally this is not the first time I've done records to address certain issue, or maybe a line or two in a record, just to, because I don't know, there's certain energy I hate to feed into, especially speaking about it, because I might lose my cool. So with this situation, yes, exactly. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm super proud of everything. It's just in the moment how I felt. Whether it be my truth, there should have been a way that you could have said it. That's why I don't like to speak about it, because this is a conversation between two people, but then we could have a conversation if you want to talk about it, because it involves me as well.
Right.
But because people know the SAC doesn't speak, people think they can say something and no SAC is not going to speak, and then it's going to get away with it. So once in a while, you just
let them poke the bear. Yeah.
Exactly.
Poke the bear. So, and because I'm the same way. If people talk crazy about me, I don't like to address things because I feel like it gives it way more life.
Exactly.
And I see people do it all the time. And instead of me engaging in a back and forth, I'm like, you know what? Go ahead. I'm going to just keep on doing my thing and not let anybody knock me off my square.
True.
But this time you said it wasn't a line or two. I mean, so I want to know,
the whole record.
Who did you let hear this first? Was anybody in the studio with you when you did this?
That's what's funny.
Please.
Did not, my team is here. They're all like, people think my team is in support of what I did or the record. None of them knew I did the record, because I was on tour. I'm actually on tour when it happened.
Yes.
So, and sometimes when I feel something, then the lyrics is going to come right there and then. So I sneaked into the studio to even record this. I didn't let nobody hear it, because I didn't want to hear no advice.
Right.
I just literally want to do what I felt at that point. And face the consequences later on. But it wasn't like the whole team sat down and said, this is good to go. I did it personally for myself.
They probably was like, what are you doing? I can imagine those phone calls and text messages.
A lot of phone calls. So in the heat of the moment, the person that I didn't hear from, which normally she would have been the first person to hit me, is my lawyer. So early morning, I was trying to tease her, and I said, Mama C, so don't you care about what's happening? Because you would hit me up and say, what are we doing? But the sad news is she was dead at the same time.
What?
Yeah, so I see 2 texts go. I didn't hear, of course, she would respond like within 5 minutes.
Wow.
It took hours, and then I heard she's no more. So
oh
just
my
within
God,
that period,
that's
it was
awful...
like a very tough time within that short period.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Good.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Ooh,
yeah, so she would have been somebody who I know wouldn't endorse that situation of how I wanted to handle it, but I just felt like it. Like this, I normally don't do it, but this, to me, I think I'll get to a point where I can speak freely about it. I think it's still fresh, that I still want to process it before I can really speak. You know,
and this is something that happened like a really long time ago. Yeah. So this is something that she brought back up. And then I know in interviews you don't even really like to address things like this, but since you put the song out, and it felt like somebody leaked it first.
Yes.
And so maybe you didn't even intend to put it out. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay. So you're like, well, it's here now.
Because it's in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Where I was, it was like very late. I think 2 a.m. And then I see Twitter going crazy and people putting out the record.
Oh, so dang.
I have no idea because I didn't give it to. So I have like 2-3 people that I don't want to suspect. You know, it's going to create some energy because I did it just to hold on to it and see if I'm going to release it. But then when it came out, I was like, let me just put it out. Yeah.
Do you do that often? Like something goes on and you're like, let me just do a song about it and then kind of put it away, like a getting something off your chest diary, because you do come from that school of rap battling.
Exactly.
So when something makes you mad, I could see you instead of writing it down, you might just be like, let me just go in the booth and do something.
Yeah, I express myself well when I do music. I think I say it the best. If I do music, if I speak about it, I don't know if I'm a good person that express himself well.
Right.
I can talk about my life or whatever, but there's certain situations I know that I might lose my cool. Things I'm very passionate about, it's hard for me to speak about it because I'll be lost. Even in the thoughts, I'll be all over the place. Conversations like even talking about my people and how our music and how we're supposed to survive and do this. I care so much about it that when I speak about it, because of the passion and emotions I have for it, I might not be able to get to the point. But when I do a record, I have time to really say exactly what I want to say. So when something happens, I feel like, let me just do a record. Or most people are lucky. Sometimes it will be a line or 2 in a verse.
a little stab.
But if I do a whole joint for you, that means few times I've done that. I think this is the second time I've done like a record on one particular situation. That should tell you that this
non-living thing.
It wasn't. I have similar situation, but it's not exact.
Right. I mean, it was a heartbreak type of.
Yes, because I faced that some time ago.
And it feels like that was about a particular person or and situation.
I don't think so because I didn't. With Try Me, I knew what I was doing. Non-living thing, I didn't.
Okay. Adolfo Sarkodie and I'm saying or Kasa Ediafa Yvonne Nelson saga for the first time. Emphatically stated say at the right time no. Obe granted a couple interviews specially to talk about Yvonne Nelson. Now, a question I'm for Abisa on social media. So, and it says Sarkodie say the project was leaked. How true could this be? Because if a project was leaked, the first moment the song was published was on your official YouTube channel. So, could that also be leaked? And I say ABI it was leaked on other streaming platforms and Sana on one kasa at the platform. So Ebinu Mejidi say Sarkodie was just being a hypocrite on the show without saying the fact. He enjoyed dissing Yvonne Nelson because Ebinum say after say Odisi and Kanyanepa he could have easily taken down the song and then rendered an apology. Now so I say he was also benefiting from the diss. That is according to comments gathered from social media. So for also arguing about the whole situation, a comment section. Am I once again Vimba so and we CP.
Vimbaz TV.